If you were expecting a lull in fourth quarter for Dallas-Fort Worth's apartment market, you would have been very wrong. And in this case, you'd probably be happy to be wrong. Welcome to Apartment Market Dynamics from MPF Research. I'm Jay Parsons with your Dallas-Fort Worth update. The fourth quarter data for Dallas-Fort Worth gave us two big headlines. Number one, Q4 apartment demand was stronger than it's been in any year since the year 2000. And number two, year-over-year rent growth is now at the highest point we've seen here in 2 decades. Let's start with the demand story. We're going to show a chart to you. You probably know that Q4 is typically a period of weak demand all across the country. Apartment demand during fourth quarter in DFW has been negative for the 14 of the past 20 years. And when it has been positive, it's typically been just barely above the equator. But as this chart shows you, in 2011, Q4 demand tallied 2,990 units. The only year it was better in Q4 was the year 2000. Now at the same time, new supply levels have fallen off significantly. Of course, DFW is still the national leader for new apartment supply, but the numbers are trending downward. In 2011, 5,417 units completed. That is about half the 2010 total, and it's the lowest volume in any calendar year since 1994. And that means occupancy rates are improving. Occupancy is now above 93% for the first time in more than 3 years, up 0.2 points in Q4 and up 1.8 points year over year, up to a rate of 93.1%. That's not great in the national picture, but that is a few ticks above DFW's historic averages. Now we continue to see big gaps in performance by location and by product line. First of all, in Dallas, on the Dallas side of the Metroplex, occupancy is at 93.4%. versus Fort Worth, where occupancy averages 92.5%. And when we split DFW into two rent tiers, those with properties with average monthly rents above the metro norm versus those below the metro norm, we do see a significant difference as well. On the Dallas side, the top half of the market is 95.9% occupied, very strong, and the bottom half of the market is at just 92%. And we see similar gaps on the Fort Worth side. And on a submarket level, we now have rates approaching 96% or better in upper end areas like Plano, Las Colinas, Denton, Grapevine, and in-town Dallas. But we're still below 90% in more affordable areas like East Fort Worth, Northeast Dallas, South Fort Worth, Far East Dallas, and Southeast Dallas. And that takes us to rent change. Same-store rental rates jumped 0.7% in Q4, and they are up 4.7% year over year. That is the largest rent hike in 2 decades for Dallas-Fort Worth. And since 1998, rent growth has reached the 4% mark only 2 other times, in 2001, right before the tech bust, and 2007, just before that most recent recession. And what this means is that average monthly rents in DFW are now above pre-recession levels and at all-time highs. And in some key submarkets, we are now 4.5% to 6% above what we saw in 2007. That list includes some higher-end areas like Frisco, Allen McKinney, in-town Dallas, and Plano. Now, going forward, Dallas-Fort Worth should continue to get a boost from an economy that seems to favor the Texas markets, and new supply levels won't yet be a major factor. Now, new supply is ramping up again. There are about 6,500 units set to deliver in 2012. Now, that's a big number, and it's a little bit above what we saw in 2011, yet that's not very big relative to DFW's historic averages. Actually, it's pretty low relative to DFW's history, and so it probably won't be as big of a factor until we get to 2013. So we're looking for 2012 to be another good year for revenue growth for DFW, and it won't be till 2013 when we start to see some slowdown. And that wraps up for Dallas-Fort Worth, so until next time for Apartment Market Dynamics and MPF Research, I'm Jay Parsons. Thank you for watching.
Want more? Go deeper with NPF Research's apartment market reports. From a national level, down to individual metros, to specific neighborhoods, NPF Research has been providing unparalleled apartment market intelligence to the multifamily industry for almost 5 decades. Learn more by contacting us at 877-284-4938 or visit www.npfresearch.com and click on Market Reports.